What's up, guys, and welcome back for another video. This is the next day. I just pulled the engine out of the car yesterday. I've got parts and pieces laying literally everywhere. The garage is destroyed, but I've got a bunch of parts back there, intercooler, radiator, all the accessories. So if you watched the last video, you'll see me pulling it out and getting it pretty much ready to go on the stand. I'll put a link in up above, one of the sides, right or left, I'm not sure. But I did take all the accessories off. Got the water pump housing off. I got the power steering, the AC, the exhaust manifold. I didn't film any of that just because it's a simple process. Just take bolts out, pull stuff off. I got it on the stand. It's ready to be disassembled. And that's really what you guys want to see. That's what I want to see, so I can figure out what is wrong with this thing. Now, I did yesterday rotate this thing around, and you can't really see in there because it's super dark, but both of the bottom of the housings look to be in good shape, and all 6 apex seals did spring back and forth. So fingers crossed it's not anything terrible. But we're going to jump into it. I'm going to get my table set up so as I pull it apart, I can lay it out, keep everything in order, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. Here we go. Alright, so getting set up. Just got some basic socket sizes, 17 millimeter, 14, 13, 10, 11, and I've got my bags for labeling bolts and nuts so I don't lose them, my Sharpie, I've got the engine stand, got a little chair in case I want to sit down, and of course my table. So we are set up, ready to go. I'm gonna first start off by removing the clutch and the flywheel, getting that off. Then I'll move around to the front and I'll take the front cover off, take the main pulley off, and we'll be able to flip it up on end and start disassembling this thing. So I'm gonna try to film as much of it as I can. I know when I built it the first time I lost some footage and things, so I'm gonna try to recapture that in this build and tear down so you guys can see the process. So I will film as much of it as I can, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, this just fell out of the oil pan, and I'm not for certain what it is, but I'm gonna say it's a key of something. So, that's not good. That does not look good at all. Yeah. Okay guys, so I'm trying something different. I got the head mount out because I tried to record this, but it wasn't a very good angle. The key that you just seen me pull out of the oil pan, which is right here, actually belongs in the oil pump gear. So it's good that I know where it goes. It's bad that it came out. This nut was actually kind of loose, so I think the pump gear walked out and the key came out. So that's one thing, but we'll keep looking and see what else we find. Alright, so I'm just gonna slowly try to walk this front counterweight off. Oh. Alright. So. Okay. There's that. Yeah, that material came off everywhere. So I'm gonna say that's probably the biggest contributor to the failure. So got my needle bearing, still looks to be in good shape. Everything else will come off next. Looks like this one might be a little unhappy. Maybe we can clean it up. Maybe we can't. Oh, okay. So this is our spacer, which basically sets the amount of thrust that the engine has. So yeah, that's important to keep. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but that is completely destroyed. And I already see a huge chunk of what appears to be bearing material. So that is not good. That is absolutely terrible. So I'm assuming the copper material was bearing, because this bearing is absolutely shot. Okay guys, so I've seen a lot of other people who build these things on a regular basis, put the flywheel on the rear counterweight and then smack it with a hammer to break it loose. So I got the flywheel on, got my big rubber hammer, we're gonna give it a smack. Just like that, flywheel and rear counterweight off in one. That's pretty sweet trick. So this is where we're at right now. Got all the bolts that hold the keg together, the rear stationary gear. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that can stay on until I pull the tension bolts out, and then we will be ready to unstack this thing. When I get there, I'm gonna have my wife film so you guys have a better angle. I'm not sure how the head mount footage turned out earlier. If it's in the video, it obviously turned out okay. If it's not, it didn't work out very well. So just to be sure, I'm gonna have her film. That way you guys get a good view of everything coming apart. So what I'm gonna do is bust these bolts out. I'm sure you guys don't want to watch that. It's just untorquing 17 bolts. And then I will get her and we will pull this thing apart and see what the damage is. I'll see you in just a second. All right guys, as promised, brought my wife back to film. She's behind the camera. We got all these taken loose, haven't taken them out yet. So we're gonna look at this in the inside for the first time together. I hope it's not that bad, but I have my doubts. I feel like this thing is going to be completely destroyed, but it may not be as bad as I thought, or it could be worse. You never know. Now, the rear rotor, which is going to be the first one we expose, did still have really good compression. So this first rotor, I'm not expecting to see anything really messed up or anything like that. So let's see. Oh, I gotta take that key out. Okay, so yeah, that is severely unfortunate. It appears, yeah, that bearing is completely gone. That really sucks a lot, because those were brand new bearings just pressed in from Mazda. So yeah, and that's probably due to the oil pump gear that we seen earlier that was loose and the key fell out. So that's unfortunate. But otherwise, the rotors, this rotor anyway, seems so far to be in good shape. Here's the corner seal. Now, since this rotor had still good compression, I just want to try to keep everything where it was at, because I spent a lot of time putting these rotors together. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a card up in the corner and you can watch me build the rotors. It's kind of boring, but it took a lot of time. All the corner pieces of the apex seals are still there. So let's see, how can I get this rotor out? Oh, that was exactly what I didn't want to do, but that's okay.
Another one's right there.
And that one
So that was just sitting right here in the little pocket.
Okay, so we've got corner seal spring, corner seal spring. It is very important, like I said before in my previous video, to make sure you keep your rotors in order, in orientation. This will be considered the rear rotor, and this is the rear face because the stationary gear is facing out towards the flywheel side of the engine. So that doesn't look too terrible. The housing actually looks to be in still really good shape. I'm not sure this is coolant or calcium from the water maybe, but that's rotor number 1. Now take off. The rear housing. Dowel pin stuck in there, that's okay. Now this part I learned last time is a little difficult, but I want you guys to see it. I did miss filming it last time because I wasn't really 100% sure on how to go about doing it. So now that I have a better idea, I'm gonna try to show you. Okay, so she's gonna help me.
Try not to get in the way of the head.
Up a little bit. Alright, well, that one wasn't as smooth, but the iron still looks to be in decent shape. Got more bearing material. Now, this rotor here did not have good compression, which is what led me to want to try and pull it apart. And right there seems to be the issue, or at least one of them. So you guys see the side seal, it's raised, and then it just goes flat. So either this side seal is, yeah, it looks to be, focus. Okay, well, it's collapsed in there. It could just be depressed, I don't know. But that is kind of better news than I was expecting. I was expecting a blown apex seal or something of the sort, but thus far not. So
Or showing the.
you're fine. Okay, so again, I'm going to try and also, guys, this apex seal right here is the same thing. It's not pushing in and out. What about this one?
It's in.
This one is also in. This one here, you can see, has good motion. So yeah, this rotor definitely took the brunt of the damage. Actually, let me take the E-shaft out. Oh. Yeah, definitely, the bearing up front definitely wore like we had suspected. It appears that the rotor bearings are in good shape though, so that's a positive.
I'm just stuck in there.
Okay guys, so that's it for today's video. Got some super bad news with the car. It wasn't what I expected. I was expecting apex seals. Luckily those are good, but I did find that both the stationary gear bearings are gone. Let me see if I can give you another good shot of that bearing. Yeah, it is gone, toast. So that is unfortunate. And not only that, but I have this one side seal that is stuck on this side. So everything else looks to be okay so far. All the irons are in good shape. There's no scoring or anything. The housings are in good shape. So I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to have to get some new side seals and definitely new stationary gear bearings. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think. Tell me about your experiences, if you've had anything like this happen, what may have caused it, and what you guys want to see next. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for watching again. You don't know what it means to me. Think about subscribing. It's totally free. It takes less than a second. Just smash that button and if you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified as soon as I upload a video, which hopefully will be a lot more consistently now. And that's it for today. Thank you, guys. Remember, it's only a dream until you make it a reality.